Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's another draw preview, and we're going to go over the City Open for the WTA side first. So let's get into it. Before we do though, remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. Thank you to everyone that is liking the video still, and of course to those who are subscribed. Really does help us out a great deal. On top of that, if you're listening on a podcast platform, do remember to leave a rating review as well. Really does help us out. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get into this. There's a couple of surprises in terms of some of the wild cards given out as well, which is really, really great to see. Actually, three Americans, Venus Williams, who, look, I mean, multi Grand Slam champion. I don't expect her to do too much at the tournament, but you know, it's great to have someone of that caliber in it. Sofia Kenin, who of course is a a former Grand Slam champion as well, and has had a pretty hard road, I think, since winning the US Open. Hasn't really replicated that form. I know she's had quite a few injuries as well. And Sloane Stephens, another US Open champion, who's won just the one Grand Slam. And again, she's had her tough times as well, more due to form than injuries. But three very accomplished players, three Grand Slam champions. So they're massive additions to the tournament and great to see in Washington. Okay, let's get into this then. So Jessica Pegula is the top seed at the top of the draw, and she'll play Haley Baptiste. And I think Pegula, she'll like being on the hard court, although in saying that, she's had a fantastic run throughout the year, really. She's made a lot of quarterfinals, at least quarterfinals, at Grand Slams, Masters 1000 tournaments, 500s. So she's been very consistent throughout the year. And look, she likes the hard court surface. She clearly likes the US Open series as well. She's at home. I don't think she necessarily feels the pressure. It'll be interesting to see whether she does feel some added pressure, though, given she's the top seed at this tournament this year. We'll see. But I have her going through. Then you can see there's a couple of blank spaces here because the qualifiers are still going on. I'm going to pick Sevilla to come through against the qualifier. Same with Venus Williams. They've got Petkovic versus Towson. Very interesting. I'm going to go with the young player, Clara Towson. I'm quite impressed with her ability. Petkovic is very dogged, though, a veteran in the sport, but you'd expect Towson to be too fresh. Simona Halep, I don't think it really matters who she plays as a qualifier. She should get through. Then we've got Madison Brengle versus Kalinskaya. I'm going to go Brengle to win as the home favorite. Harriet Dart versus Lin Zhu. It's a tough first round, but I'm going to go with the Brit. Green Minin versus Kai Kanepi. Got to back Kai Kanepi. I think her game will be too big for the Belgian. Maya Sharif versus Vekic. She's seeded as well, Sharif. Egyptian player. Vekic, so a tough first round. I'm going to go Sharif, though. And Tatiana Maria, who had a fantastic fairy tale run at Wimbledon, making the semi-finals there. She'll play a qualifier. I'm going to have her coming through, although I have to say her game probably doesn't translate as well onto the hard courts because she does like to slice and dice a lot and is fantastically effective on the grass, especially because I think the way she was utilizing that game plan was really good. And she, I think, stuck to it and really executed it to a T. So, look, she can probably do something similar on this surface. The only issue she'll have is that the ball, of course, bounces a lot higher on the hard courts. They can be equally as fast at times, depending on which tournament you're at. But the extra bounce will, I guess, count against her. So we'll see how she carries that form through to this US Open series. You'd imagine she'll have a lot of confidence, though, from that Wimbledon result. So hopefully she's able to replicate somewhat the form that we saw at Wimbledon. Martin Kova versus Wang. We're going Martin Kova. Yashkramska versus Azarenka. Azarenka, I mean, as soon as we hit the hard courts, I mean, it's very hard to back against Azarenka. There's a middle part of the year, which is the French Open and Wimbledon. Just forget about those tournaments and those Grand Slams and anything on grass and clay. But either side of that, the Australian Open and the first half or first quarter even of the year, which is the hard court swing there, and then the US Open series. I mean, she's so good on the hard courts. She It's clearly something. She's got some sort of affinity to them, and yeah, she's just for me going to be so dangerous. And it's funny because she's a player who she really does drop off the radar for the middle part of the year, but at the start and the end, she's there and she's very present. So I have her going through. Elise Mertens versus Samsonova, a good, yeah, a pretty good tournament at Wimbledon, making the quarterfinals. I'm going to go with Elise Mertens over Samsonova, but a tough first round. And then a really good first round matchup. This is probably my pick of the first rounds, to be honest with you. We'll have a look at the rest. But no, it is. This is what we've got left. So this is probably my pick. Ayla Tomljanovic versus Sloane Stephens. Excuse me. Tomljanovic just made the quarterfinals at Wimbledon. I think grass is her preferred surface. She clearly seems to play better on the grass than any other surface, but she's still quite dangerous on the hard courts. She's probably, I would say, her weakest surface is the clay. She should cause Stephens some problems, but similar to Azarenka, I feel like with Stephens, although she has made, if I'm not mistaken, a French Open final before, Sloane Stephens. I'm going to go with Sloane Stephens to win. I think the wild card and just the fact that she's, I don't know, I have a feeling that she's going to be really dangerous, Sloane Stephens. She's not even a wild card, sorry, she's in the draw. But I think she was a late entry, if I'm not mistaken. So she was granted a place. So she will, in my opinion, beat Tomljanovic, a close one though. And then Sofia Kenin versus Camila Osorio. I'm going to go Kenin, but I have to be honest with you. I don't hold great hope for her performance at this tournament. There's something about her at the moment. I'm not quite sure when we're going to see her at her best and at her kind of fully fit self. I guess we'll have to wait and see, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go Kenin. Bouzkova, Raducanu. It's a tough one, you know. It's a tough first round for Raducanu. She's got quite a few points to defend in this US Open swing. And I was actually on one of Cam Williams's streams, and he made a point which is pretty shocking, but it definitely is true, because when you think about it and you start doing the calculations, you realize that she's top 10 at the moment. If she was to only gain a couple of hundred points, because I think she's defending over 2,000 points, she would drop outside the top 100. She could be in the top 150 by the end of the US Open, after the US Open, that is. That is shocking, right? I mean, she'll still be a draw. She's a Grand Slam champion, if that were to happen. But obviously, it's a massive blow to her, and she won't be able to automatically qualify for tournaments. So she'll either have to go through qualies, or she'll get a wild card, which most likely she will. But it's not a great place to be. So she'll be hoping to have some strong results. There's also rumors that she's gone with Tursunov. I don't think it's been 100% confirmed, but I've seen a lot of reports saying that she's gone with Tursunov, who is the ex-coach and obviously an ex-ATP player, but also ex-coach for I've forgotten a name now. For the Georgian player who I've completely forgotten. But yeah, I mean, Kontaveit, that's it, who's currently number 2 in the world. Kontaveit as well. I don't know how, by the way, because she hasn't done too much this year. But I know there's, of course, Wimbledon wouldn't have helped a lot of the players. Someone like Rybakina, for example, she didn't get any extra points from that. So I'm going to go Raducanu to win. We'll see how she gets on. Round of 16, of course, because it's a 500, if I'm not mistaken. So we've got round of 32, round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. So we'll go through each round. Pegula Seville, I'm going to go Pegula. She should have too much in terms of baseline prowess. Too much of a big game for me. This is an interesting one, and I guess reminiscent of a Coco Gauff versus Venus Williams, the 2019 Wimbledon tournament, where Coco Gauff caused the upset and beat Venus. Can Clara Tauson do something similar against Venus Williams? And the answer to that question, in my opinion, is yes. I think she's going to do it. It's going to be a tough one. She's going to have to return really well. Venus still has a massive serve. And it's still very tough to break her. I think, Tauson needs to be on her game, but I think she will be. Simona Halep versus Madison Brengel. Brengel has a very interesting game. I think, her backhand is better than her forehand. She hits into up backhands, which is crazy to see, but really great to see as well. Something different on the tour. I'm going to go with Simona Halep, though I think Brengel's just a little bit too limited to cause Halep massive issues. Although in saying that, Halep's, I guess, ability on the hard courts isn't as strong as it is on the grass and the clay. And similar to, I guess, what I was saying about Azarenka, she's the flip of that, right? She's the opposite. Hard court, so start of the year, end of the year, she's very strong. Middle part, Wimbledon and Roland Garros and Wimbledon. She, no expectations, right? People don't really expect her to do too much. She just isn't as good on that surface, or those surfaces. I think a similar thing for Halep. I don't think people expected to win the US Open or the Australian. So we'll have to wait and see what she can do. But I've got her to win against Brengel anyway. Kai Kanepi, Harriet Dart. I'm going to Kanepi. Too much experience for me. Sharif, Tatiana Maria. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to go Sharif. Why not? I think, as I said, Maria is probably a little bit limited on the hard courts, given I don't think it quite suits her game as much as the grass. Azarenka to beat Martinkova. Mertens Stevens. Oh, that's a tough one. That's battle of the grinders. It really is. Who do I go with? I'm going to go with... Do I go with Belgium or the home favourite? I'm going to go with Elise Mertens. Sofia Kenin and Emma Raducanu. Oh, it's a tough one, It's not going to be easy for Raducanu. But I think given that Kenin, I don't think she's going to be in the full flow. So I'm going to go Raducanu. Pegula Tolson, I'm going to go Pegula. Again, I just think she's been too solid this year. At home, baseline game's massive. I'm not sure whether Tolson's ready for that yet. Halep Kanepi, that's a really good one. I'm going to go Kanepi to cause the upset against Halep. Azarenka Sharif, I'm going to go Azarenka. Mertens Raducanu. I'm going to go Mertens to beat Raducanu. I think she's going to be too solid for Raducanu. And I think given that she's going to be with a new coach, it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm very interested to see how she does play in this US Open series. You would hope she'll play better, but I'm not so sure that we're going to see her play much better than she has been this year. And she hasn't played badly. She hasn't played incredibly well, though, either. She's kind of played... she's played at a top 50 level, I would say, personally. At times, she has played a top 10 level, for sure, in some matches. But she's also at times played a top 100 level. And I think it kind of averages out at top 50, maybe top 30. So, semi-finals, Pegula Kanepi. I'm going to go Pegula. And then Azarenka Mertens. I'm going to go Azarenka to beat Mertens. So I'm going to go for a blockbuster final, that is, with Pegula and Azarenka. Wow. There's going to be some winners flying left, right, and center. Pegula versus Azarenka. It really will be. A lot of it, for me, I think depends on how well Azarenka plays, because I do feel on hard courts, Azarenka is so good that, for the most part, that is, if she serves well, she then has a massive, massive chance. Pegula, I think has to be very, very good, in my opinion, against Azarenka, but we'll see. I'm going to go Azarenka. I'm going to go with the experience. I'm going to go with the multi-Grand Slam champion. I just think on the hard courts, she can boss people, and she can boss anyone on the hard courts. She really can. I'm quite high on her on hard courts, and I think she's proven it as well with her results. Pegula, though, I wouldn't be surprised if she won this final, if this were to happen, that is, or if this is to happen. But I'd go Azarenka in 3 sets would be my predictions. I have Azarenka to win the Citi Open on the women's side. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? What do you think of my picks? Do you think, actually, if it's under completely wrong, Raducanu is going to win it, or Halep's going to win it, or whoever else might win it? It could be anyone. Let me know your thoughts as well. And do you agree? Do you disagree? Interested to know what you guys think. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you on the next video. Of course, keep an eye out for the ATP draw, which I'll be releasing soon after this one as well. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you later.